Okay, this chapter this week, chapter 3, is really about culture, which I think is super interesting. And by the definition, what culture is an integrated system of learned behavior with distinguishing characteristics of members of any given society. So any member of any given society. So culture is kind of an interesting thing to study. And in the discussions for the week, we're talking about your culture. Now remember, in the very first week, we said, okay, who are you? What are you all about? What makes you tick? That's nice, but we're diving a little bit deeper into your culture, and you don't have to give up anything that you don't want, but it does make up for an interesting group. There's a lot of different people out there, and hopefully you embrace your culture, your heritage culture. There's also so many different cultures, like I had in the examples of the sports you might do, or the hobbies, if you paint, if you crochet or something like that. Those are cultures. So I want to have a good look at that one, and I can say that marketing success typically comes from cultural understanding. Okay, so a couple other things that we're doing this week is we're starting on a travel brochure. So again, you're going to just pick a place that you want to go. Call it an ideal travel vacation of your own. You want to go to this place and you're going to make a brochure. Pretty simple. I want to understand what goes on over there where you're going. You're obviously, again, we're not going to the United States or anything close. We're going outside the country. And the way that we're doing this, we're setting it up as a black and white text first, and then we're doing the same thing and making it color. This is how big ad agencies work. Typically what they'll have is they have one department over here, a room full of copywriters, and then over here you got a whole room full of artists, art people, art design. I think in the old days, back in the days of Mad Men, the copywriters work on it and they'd send it over to the art people and they'd put pictures to it. I think it's a little more complicated these days because we're smarter. Copyright people and the art people have to work together. But right now what you're doing is the copywriting, or the writing of the text. That way you don't have to worry about layout. You don't have to think about that stuff. You're thinking about who, what, where, when, and why, all the details. Also, you're looking at how much things cost. Cost is really important because you have to know how to communicate that cost. The pricing is one of the important things in marketing, is to understand how to communicate value for the dollars people are giving up. So again, just bullet points, doesn't even have to look great. It's just a text list of where you're going, who, what, where, when, why, the cost, when. Some great features of that. So that's something that we're working on here. Again, one assignment is the black and white travel brochure. It's just a text. The other assignment is a full layout. We'll get to that in a week or two. The other thing that we're doing this week is pretty fun is the Super Bowl is coming up, and you don't have to be a football fan at all to appreciate some things about the Super Bowl, namely the advertising that goes on. Everybody knows that for years and years, the Super Bowl is the number one thing for advertisers in some industries. My experience with Budweiser told me that the advertising year starts Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. Everything that Budweiser does for the next 12 months till the next Super Bowl is designed around campaigns that they run from the Super Bowl. So the couple of million that people pay, or 10 million, whatever it costs to pay for an ad, very often can be worth it. I heard one story about, I think it was GoDaddy.com. They had an advertising budget of like $2 million, and a Super Bowl ad was $2 million, and they said, we're going to do one thing and advertise 30 seconds on the commercial. For 12 months, they did nothing else. It was a success. It got them on the map. One 30-second ad. That's how powerful the Super Bowl is, and how big companies really revolve around that Super Bowl. So there's a discussion on it. Later on, there's a assignment, but it's pretty fun. The discussion is where people can throw out things. In the old days, they didn't leak what was coming, but nowadays, a week or two before the game, we know who's going to be advertising, and a lot of times you can see what the ads are going to be. There's no surprise anymore, but it's still fun to see what they come up with. Some of them are secret ads that they don't allow to come out till later. So those are the things that are going on. Working on a couple of things. You read Chapter 3, take the interactive quiz, work on your travel brochure, just the text, just the basics, the facts, and then start talking about the Super Bowl discussions, and we'll see how that goes. All right, thanks.